Okay, I just want to give you all a quick rundown. I got a lot of comments and messages from Instagram after I posted about sitting out this slopestyle competition because of some lingering concussion symptoms. I'll start from the beginning, which is the beginning of this year. My first crash this year was at Freeride Fiesta. I went for backflip on the step up, mistimed the pop, and ended up bailing in the air, and I got out of the flip just fine, but crash landed hard on the ground. I didn't think I hit my head. I had no concussion symptoms at the time, and I actually kept riding. Like, my body felt really beat up, but I kept riding because there was no damage to my helmet, and I had no concussion symptoms. That was the first possible concussion. My next crashes were in New Zealand at the Slopestyle in Christchurch. I actually crashed 3 or 4 times throughout the week. I think I crashed 3 times. 3 of them were on the shark fin, and then once was in my competition run. For those crashes, I did get a slight headache after one of them, but it went away within maybe 10 to 15 minutes. I didn't feel like I hit my head hard enough to stop riding. Yes, I got a slight headache, but there were no other symptoms, and I made the decision to keep riding. Fast forward to Darkfest, mid-March, and just in a freak crash in the berm, I slammed my head really hard. I was knocked out for a few moments, I think, but then there were some weird things that happened. I was awake, but I don't remember any of it. I kind of got up, fell back, and rolled on the ground a little bit. Super strange. I don't remember any of it, but there is a video of it, and it really freaks me out. Basically, after that concussion, I got home and couldn't do anything. That was the craziest symptoms I've ever had. I go to the gym 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I try to stay super consistent. So I stuck to that schedule, but I would go to the gym, maybe do a really light exercise and stretch a little bit. Here are my symptoms. At that time, I couldn't do anything. Making any decision was extremely stressful. I would make small goals every day, like send one email. And if I got that accomplished, it was a good day. And then I pretty much laid or sat down the rest of the day just resting. I might go for a light walk. I had headaches for a few days after I got home, but then those went away. And the rest of my symptoms were quite strange. I was extremely anxious. Like I said, it was really difficult to make any decisions. Going to the grocery store was the worst experience. I would walk into the store, and for whatever reason, I would feel so anxious and in my mind, and I had to fight off crying. I would walk into the grocery store and I would just want to cry. And it's such a weird sensation. I had no reason to feel that way other than the concussion. Another symptom I had was when I would go to the gym and I would try to do an exercise. Maybe it would be a light exercise, and then I would get extremely out of breath really fast, overly out of breath, and I would have to go lay down for a bit. Through this time, I pushed through the symptoms as much as I could tolerate. When this happened at the gym, I would lay down for a little bit till my heart rate got to be normal again, and then I would try to continue the exercise. I pushed as much as I could, but pulled back if whatever symptom I had wouldn't go away. I didn't ride my bike for 2 weeks, and after those first 2 weeks, I was feeling much less anxious at the grocery store. Another symptom I had was just feeling blah. I don't know how else to describe it. I wasn't happy in any way. Normally, I'm a pretty cheerful, happy person, and I realized that I wasn't smiling at all. I would see something beautiful and just have no reaction. I wouldn't smile. I wasn't laughing, and it was very out of the ordinary for me. So when a few weeks after I got home, when I finally saw a sunset and smiled a little bit, I realized like, wow, this is actually really nice to feel a little bit of happiness. Those symptoms definitely slowly went away over the next, like after the 2 weeks, I was feeling pretty normal emotionally. And that is the time that I decided to start riding a little bit. I started just on a pump track, and it was quite strange going around a pump track. Like my body felt good. My mind was focusing on what I was doing, but my vision was quite strange. Instead of seeing a continuous like field of vision, it almost looked like I was flipping through a picture book or a reel that's just photo after photo. It was glitchy in so many ways, and I didn't have just like a calm, smooth stream of vision. So I kept riding. Maybe every few days I would do either the pump track or just go ride on a really, really smooth trail at a slow pace. Something that I wouldn't risk crashing, but I was still moving my body and doing what I love to do. And my vision and everything got better over time. Like over the next few weeks, I would notice improvements every time I went out. There were certain points along the way where I had to go do other things. I went to Santa Cruz and did a trail ride with Liat, and that was kind of the first time that I pushed myself a little bit on the trails. Before that, I was just riding really easy green trails. And Santa Cruz, we were riding some steeps, like nothing too crazy, but I realized that I definitely wasn't back to normal. I wasn't riding as I should. Maybe my body felt a little bit off, my timing felt slow, and I really didn't think that it was just being out of practice. I just felt like I physically and mentally couldn't really keep up. So I just rode slow and didn't push myself, made sure to try to enjoy the time on the bike, even if I wasn't riding as I wanted to. After that, I tried to ride every other day, or even every day, just try to ride a little bit more often, maybe push a little bit harder, going a bit faster. The next thing was TDS Enduro. I debated racing or not, and I did make a post about it at the time. Basically, I made the decision to race, but just to keep it chill, and if I felt like I was at risk of crashing, I would just stop and not race. The race actually went really well. I felt pretty good throughout the race, and it was fun. I had a good time. After that would be my next crash. So I was signed up for the Urban Downhill in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and at that time I was feeling really normal. I thought I was back to 100%, and after going there and starting down the course and hitting the jumps, kind of a hindsight, I wasn't normal. When I crashed in Puerto Vallarta, it was my first time hitting the jump, and I was following my friends. For some reason, I just sprinted the whole way into the jump. Went way too deep, got really wonky in the air, and I crashed. I didn't feel like I hit my head on that crash either, but I feel like I must have. I don't know. There was a few scratches on my visor, but I didn't have any symptoms after that crash. No symptoms of concussion, no headache, nothing weird. So I ended up riding the next day. I still didn't feel great on the bike, but I was attributing it to not jumping much in the last month. And now thinking about it, I was feeling off. It was feeling off because of concussion symptoms and problems. One thing that is really difficult about concussions is that there's no way to see the injury. If you break your arm, like, it just isn't gonna function. If you break your brain, there's so many other parts of your brain that try to compensate that it's really difficult to say that something is actually wrong. Self-assessment can only do so much, because I'm the kind of person that really tries to take ownership of everything that I do. So if I mess something up, I try to figure out, okay, why did I mess that up? And how can I do it better? Like, I need to practice more. I need to train harder. And it turns out with concussion, if these systems in my brain are off, then no matter how hard I train and how much I practice, it's not gonna just like get better with normal training. Fast forward to here in Slovakia, I come and I was trying to ride these jump lines. Some of the jump lines are pretty big and technical, so fear is warranted, but I really felt like it wasn't just fear or being out of practice that was holding me back. I felt like I wasn't judging the lips very well. I feel like some of the movements that like I'm trying to move my body in like are just off. When I tell someone this, it's really hard for me to explain because I don't fully understand it either. But after a few days of riding and realizing it's not just that I'm afraid there's something else wrong, I decided to finally talk to a concussion specialist, and that has helped me understand more what is going on and these problems that I am having. It's honestly a little bit of a relief knowing that it's not just that I'm afraid. It's not that I haven't practiced enough. Like, there are things that are off, and that is actually good for me because now I have things that I can work on. And today is actually the first day that I'm gonna start these like concussion rehab exercises, and I'm really excited to see how it goes. Basically, I'm here in Slovakia now. I am riding. I'm pushing where it makes sense, and I'm holding back where it doesn't make sense. I love riding my bike, and I want nothing more than to get back to my normal riding. And I know I can, and especially with the proper like concussion exercises, I'm excited to start them and get back to normal as soon as possible. So thank you for all of the comments that So my symptoms that I've really kind of put a finger on here in Kalnica are a lot with my vision. One random weird fact, I'm the kind of person that hates scratches on my goggles. Like, if I have a little bit of a scratch on my clear lenses, like, I gotta take them off. I can't stand it. But right now, for some reason, the scratches are making no difference to me. I'm looking right through them. Another example is like there was a tree hanging down in the trail. CJ and I probably rode the trail 10 times, and I swore there was no tree. We ended up stopping on the trail so she could show me, and it is 100% true. The tree was hanging down over the trail. There's no way that I could have ridden past it without hitting it with my head, and I did not see it in any way. And that was honestly kind of freaky. Another thing is, it seems like when I ride into places, maybe in the forest where there's shadow and light mixed in, it is really a lot more difficult to see. Maybe it's hard to judge depth. Maybe it's just hard to focus on the trail itself. But it is definitely more difficult to ride in the middle of the day when there's harsh shadows than there is, like, say, in the evening right after the sun goes down, where the light is very flat. Another thing is when I'm trying to hit the jump line big SP, and it starts out with, I think, a 4-pack of jumps, and I've hit the first 2. But as I come up to a lip, it's almost like I see the lip, and then next thing I know, I'm off the lip. I'm not like seeing the lip, judging it, getting ready to push into the lip and pull. It's like, instead of focusing on it, I see it, and then there's just an amount of time that my eyes don't perceive the angle of the lip and everything. And right now, that is my biggest problem. I don't want to go into a jump and not be able to judge it and mess something up. So I can ride. I am hitting jumps, and now that I have things that I need, that I know I can work on to improve my brain, then next thing you know, I'll be back to normal. So that is about the rundown. Thanks, guys, and I will talk to you later.